shot in 4K ultra high definition. Your number one source for local news. WRAL News. Coverage you can count on.
And finally today, a break from the intense heat. We'll show you how significant it is, how long it lasts. Coming up.
The car overturned. A crash left a car in a ditch in Durham overnight. What we are learning from that scene.
In the dark, a community has been without power for 4 days now. When the lights could turn back on and how town leaders are working to get people help in that very challenging situation. Good morning, everyone. It is 4:30 on your Tuesday morning. And yes, where's the confetti, the champagne? Finally, we get a little break from the mugginess.
Brief
it's going to be a
relief.
good day, huh?
Briefly.
Hey, you know what? It's July and we will embrace this day. I'm Renee Chu.
I'm Jeff Hogan. Yeah, we certainly will take it all in for however long it lasts. Take it. Chris Michaels is over in the WRAL Severe Weather Center right now taking a look at temperatures. Dew point still looking like it's trouble out there, but
Yeah, and right now starting out muggy, but you give it a few hours, and especially this time tomorrow morning, and things will start to feel a little bit different for us. Zebulon starting out warm with temperatures in the mid to upper 70s. That's the way it'll be for your early exercise outlook this morning. Temperatures mid 70s, maybe a stray shower in some of our southern communities. But as you look toward the afternoon, it's the first one since last Thursday that we didn't have a heat advisory. High temperatures across the board, about 85 to 90 degrees. You know, the past 6 days in a row, we've had the heat index 100 or above. Today, a nice little bit of relief from that. Muggy meter starts to go down, especially heading into tomorrow morning, and it'll stay at least within a tolerable range for the next few days. But more intense heat on the way. I'll show you when and which days could pose the threat of another heat advisory coming up.
also that breaking news out of Durham where police are investigating an early morning crash. Ali Kalubar is at that scene on Cornwallis Road. What are you learning from investigators there, Ali?
Yes, Jeff. Well, just in the past 15 minutes, we actually saw a tow truck arrive. This has been an ongoing scene for the past 3 hours, and they just got here with a new vehicle to extract this car from the ditch. But this is video from the WRAL breaking news tracker. You can see police hiking down a ditch to look for the vehicle. It's actually lodged underneath branches. Durham police on the scene tell me the car flipped into the ditch just before 2:40 this morning. They say there were no major injuries reported. We are working to find out what led up to this crash. Reporting in Durham, Ali Kalubar, WRAL News.
Some people in Enfield are waking up for a fourth day in a row without power. They've been without lights, air conditioning, and other necessities since the storm Saturday. WRAL's Kelsey Coffey is live in Enfield. Kelsey, the town is working to help people get through this.
Yes, Renee, this is day 4 in the dark here in downtown Enfield, and there are several businesses downtown that have signs like this one that say they'll be able to reopen once power is restored. But the power could turn back on as early as this morning. However, there's still a chance that the power may not come back on until this afternoon or maybe even later. Neighbors stuck without AC and sweltering heat. The heat index has been at least 100 degrees since the town went dark on Saturday. Enfield Mayor Mondale Robinson declared a state of emergency yesterday. He says the power issues go back to Saturday's storm and a cascade of problems that not only knocked out Enfield's outdated grid, it also blew replacement parts brought in to fix the problem. The mayor now calling on the federal and state governments to help Enfield rebuild its grid.
You have problems like this that are exacerbated to the point where we could lose citizens. We have people texting and calling me about their medication that needs to be in refrigerators and their electricity is still off.
Now, the OIC mobile clinic will be in town today to provide medical care for the folks who need it. There's also a shelter, a cooling center, and charging bank running at Enfield Middle School this morning. Kelsey Coffey, WRAL News. I'm in Enfield.
This morning, state regulators in Raleigh will begin testimony on Duke Energy's request to build another plant in Person County. WRAL's Laura Levine is live in Raleigh with the plan that has drawn a lot of attention and mixed opinions. Laura, good morning.
Good morning, Jeff. Yes, this topic has received a lot of mixed opinions and a lot of pushback. We know state regulators are meeting here at the Dobbs building behind me in Raleigh this morning to begin those testimonies regarding the additional natural gas plant that they want to build in Person County. Now, we know this comes as the plant would be on the same site as another natural gas plant, and neighbors in the area say that they're worried about air quality problems. Duke says the plant is needed because demand for power has grown faster than they projected. Environmental groups and solar advocates say the additional plant will contribute to climate change, and they say Duke should be investing its customers' money in renewable energy instead.
They need to take in consideration the environmental disadvantage. The environmental disadvantage is they increasing the greenhouse gas emission.
So the State Utilities Commission will begin hearing those arguments this morning at 10 a.m., and it is likely that this could last throughout the week. Laura Levine, WRAL News, live in Raleigh.
Rocky Mount Police charged a fourth person in connection with the shooting that killed two people. 19-year-old Kevonte Tyson is charged with first-degree murder. Police believe he was involved in the shooting that killed 19-year-old Rio Steele and 20-year-old Loren Dickens. 3 other men have also been charged in this shooting. Tyson is in the Edgecombe County Jail without bond.
A Wake County man is accused of choking and hitting a pregnant woman. Evander Farrington faces 6 charges, including battery of an unborn child. According to court documents, Farrington is accused of repeatedly strangling a pregnant woman and hitting her in the face. Investigators believe the two knew each other. Documents show this happened from December 2017 to February 2023. Farrington is being held on an $8,000 bond.
Drug company Biogen plans to invest $2 billion into its RTP site. Biogen says the money will be distributed over the next 3 years. It will go toward modernizing manufacturing technologies and controls, building more clinical and commercial dispensing capabilities, and scaling up gene therapy tools. Biogen has 7 pharmaceutical factories in RTP.
State Senate Leader Phil Berger set a date for when he wants lawmakers to try and override several vetoes from Governor Josh Stein. Berger plans to bring state senators back on July 29th. That's a week from today. His office says they'll consider 7 vetoes from the governor. The bill deals with things like concealed carry permits and immigration enforcement. Republicans have the votes in the Senate, but they need a Democrat to vote with them in the House. Otherwise, the vetoes remain in effect. FEMA's urban search and rescue chief has resigned. Ken Paguric has been with the federal agency for more than a decade. The announcement comes after deadly flooding in central Texas earlier this month. FEMA has been criticized for its delayed response to the disaster. According to sources, Paguric told FEMA colleagues that the delay was the tipping point that led to his departure.
A federal judge has blocked the Trump administration's effort to cut federal funding for Planned Parenthood. The case revolves around policies that aim to restrict funding for clinics providing abortion services. But the judge ruled these actions were unlawful.
New this morning, some Republicans are teaming up with Democrats in an effort to override House Speaker Mike Johnson. They want to force a House vote on releasing more Epstein files. It would let lawmakers decide whether to give the Trump administration 30 days to disclose unclassified materials. The petition would need 218 signatures. Democrats are 6 votes short. Enough House Republicans say they would back the measure, making it likely to succeed. The petition has to wait until after the 5-week August recess.
The town of Carrboro is working to catch up on waste collection as residents clean up from Chantal damage. The Public Works Department is unfortunately working with a smaller fleet, and that's because flash flooding destroyed several solid waste vehicles, including trash trucks. The town says it has borrowed solid waste trucks while it gets leases for new vehicles. So yard waste and bulk collection are behind, but the town says they hope to get caught up this week. Dumpster service and residential waste collection are on schedule.
The town of Hillsborough shared pictures of some of their parks damaged by Chantal. Contractors are working to make repairs and clean up Gold Park, Kings Highway Park, and right along Riverwalk Greenway. The town is asking people to stay out of closed areas to avoid a reopening delay.
New election rules. Some North Carolinian voters face new identification requirements. How a state Supreme Court race played a role in the change.
Assigned seats. Southwest Airlines is ending its open seating policy when flyers can start picking where they sit.
And we get a little break from the heat today. This is a live look at downtown Cary Park. Meteorologist Chris Michaels explains when to expect some relief from the heat, but why it won't last long.
From the WRAL Severe Weather Center, North Carolina's most experienced team of meteorologists.
4:43 and out the door this morning. Temperatures in the mid to upper 70s. That's the way it's going to be up until about 8 or 9 o'clock this morning. And today you'll notice a significant difference, at least in the heat. Humidity still there to some extent. High temperatures today, they're in the mid to upper 80s across the board. Severe weather outlook for today. The level 1 risk is down towards South Carolina and Georgia. The front that came through yesterday now camped out to our south. That's why we do see a little bit of a break in the humidity, especially heading into tomorrow. We also see a break in some of the storm chances. Today it's very limited off toward our southernmost counties, and as you head farther south toward areas like Lumberton. That'll also be the case Thursday and Friday, but some storm chances returning for the weekend. Along with more heat and humidity, I'll show you when a heat advisory is possible again coming up.
Chris, thanks. A federal judge sentenced former Kentucky police officer Brett Hankinson to nearly 3 years in prison for his role in the raid that killed Breonna Taylor. Brett Hankinson appeared in federal court in Louisville yesterday. The judge's sentence defied a new Department of Justice recommendation that he not face jail time. Last year, a jury convicted Hankinson of using excessive force and violating Taylor's civil rights. He faced a maximum sentence of life. A man who was shot to death during an encounter with Cumberland County deputies still has not been identified. The shooting happened after 10 o'clock Sunday on Catherine Drive. This was initially a brush fire call. Firefighters called the sheriff's office after seeing a man with a gun. The sheriff's office says deputies shot the man after they ordered him to put down the weapon, and he pointed it at them instead. It's protocol for deputies to be placed on administrative leave after they are involved in a shooting.
A North Carolina civil rights attorney who played a role in the desegregation of Charlotte schools has died. James Ferguson was 82 years old. Ferguson co-founded Charlotte's first integrated law firm and helped to desegregate other public facilities. In an interview several years ago, Ferguson said the Greensboro sit-in inspired him to become a civil rights advocate.
New voting rules that change requirements for military and overseas North Carolinian voters was approved. The changes come out of a court ruling earlier this year in the case of former Republican State Supreme Court candidate Jefferson Griffin. WRAL's Capitol Bureau Chief Laura Leslie has more.
In the lawsuit over that Supreme Court race, Jefferson Griffin challenged the ballots of overseas and military voters. Griffin said they could have been fraudulent because the state did not require photo ID, although he did not offer any evidence of any actual fraud. The State Court of Appeals agreed, saying elections workers had been misinterpreting the intent of the state's photo ID law. The court also ruled that adult children of military or overseas voters who have never physically resided in North Carolina themselves should not be allowed to vote in state and local elections. State Elections Director Sam Hayes said those voters will still be allowed to vote in federal races because federal law requires them to be allowed to, but their votes on other races will no longer be counted.
They are a U.S. citizen and they have to vote somewhere. And I agree, from a policy perspective, certainly president, that's easy. Going down from there, where do you put these people?
Ann Webb is an attorney with Common Cause North Carolina. She says it's unusual for states to add extra requirements for military and overseas voters because they're already covered by federal voting laws that are uniform for all voters from all states. Webb said decisions like this should be made by state lawmakers, not by state elections officials based on a single court ruling.
I think there's a real question here of why isn't the legislature having a discussion about what barriers there are for our military voters and their families to vote? What other challenges might they have to submitting voter ID?
State lawmakers are due back in Raleigh next week, and they could debate changes to election law. So this new rule may or may not be permanent.
3 East Carolina University football players are suspended indefinitely after police say they shot a gun into the air. Defensive lineman Jackson J.D. Lampley and Preston Carr and wide receiver Brock Spalding are all facing charges. Police say the investigation is still open and more charges could be filed. ECU Athletics Department says it is aware of the arrests.
It is 4:48, and let's get to meteorologist Chris Michaels in the WRAL Severe Weather Center for a forecast today that most of us will like, finally backing off from the mugginess later today.
Definitely, and backing off from some of that intense heat that we've seen over the past few days. And part of the reason for that is this front that's draped off toward the south. You see the storminess that's well offshore. We're not expecting much in the way of storms today. Maybe just a stray shower in parts of Sampson and Cumberland counties as you see that flow coming on shore. If you have plans to head to the beach, they stand a decent shot of some showers and storms toward areas like Southport and Wilmington. But that's really going to be the trend through today, and that front continues to go to the south. It's being forced south by some drier air that settles in really late today and especially tomorrow. When you look at the dew points for tomorrow, they're in the low to mid 60s. That means that the air is not terribly sticky. In fact, we haven't felt air like that in about 3 weeks, so that'll be a nice treat for us. Enjoy it while it lasts. The heat index today and tomorrow is not too bad. It's tolerable, especially considering where we've been. But heading toward Friday and Saturday, it starts to creep up a little bit more. I could definitely see some heat advisories being issued by then. If that's not your thing, look ahead to 2 months from now. That's when autumn finally begins. That's going to be September the 22nd. Again, 2 months from today when the sun is directly over the equator. Although here, that doesn't really mean much. September 22nd, it's usually still pretty warm. Meanwhile, out the door, still pretty warm. Holly Springs at 75, Cary and Garner 76, Durham and Goldsboro at 79 degrees. And if you plan on checking out some of the sunflowers at Dix Park, they look beautiful right now. And today and tomorrow, probably the best days to do so in terms of the heat. Our highs today really between 86 and 88 degrees. Tomorrow a little bit more the same, slightly less humid. Then as we head toward Thursday, the humidity starts to pick up a little bit more. You see those overnight lows starting to move back up. Not a whole lot of relief from the heat this weekend. Highs 96 to 98 this weekend. The daily chance for showers and storms returning. So guys, all the more reason to enjoy the little break that we have through midweek.
We certainly will take it all in for July.
Absolutely.
Not bad. Thanks, Chris. Coach returns. Production on a popular streaming show is underway. We'll have a first look at the 4th season.
And a hometown player honored. We'll show you how Chatham County recognized the start of Drake Powell's NBA career.
RDU International Airport wasn't affected much by the Alaska Air outage overnight. The entire fleet was grounded for 3 hours because of a network outage. The airline has 4 flights that go through RDU International on Mondays, and only one of those flights was delayed.
Save the date. Southwest Airlines says they will start assigning seats beginning January 27th of next year. The airline has had an open seating policy for more than 50 years. It's the latest in a series of changes at Southwest. Earlier this year, Southwest ended its bags fly free policy. Moore County is the latest sheriff's office to send out a warning about a jury duty scam. Callers falsely claim the person they're talking to missed jury duty and must pay a fine in order to avoid being arrested. There have been several reports of those calls in recent days. If you receive that call and want to make sure it's a scam, go ahead and call the sheriff's office directly.
This morning, we are learning more about actor Malcolm Jamal Warner's drowning death. Warner appeared as Bill Cosby's fictional son Theo on The Cosby Show for 8 seasons. He was swimming in Costa Rica when he drowned. Costa Rican investigators there say people on the beach tried to help Warner, but he died. Following his time on The Cosby Show, Warner became a director of shows including The Fresh Prince of Bel-Air and All That. He was 54 years old.
Grew up watching The Cosby Show. In other entertainment news, a beloved streaming show making a comeback. Here's David Daniel with today's Hollywood Minute.
I think we all have Ted Lasso in us, you know.
Production is underway on Ted Lasso Season 4. Executive producer and star Jason Sudeikis is back, along with Jeremy Swift, Hannah Waddingham, and Juno Temple. Apple TV released this first look photo and says Season 4 will feature Ted returning to Richmond to coach a women's football team, an idea teased in the Season 3 finale.
Man, it feels really gratifying.
Adria Arjona has a new leading role. Variety reports the Andor and hitman actress is set to star opposite Michael B. Jordan in a reimagining of the romantic heist film The Thomas Crown Affair. Production is underway in London with a planned release date of March 5th, 2027.
How do you spend your summers?
Normally in a big white tent in a field.
Crank up the ovens for the Great American Baking Show Celebrity Summer. Yara Shahidi, Jesse Tyler Ferguson, Andrew Rannells, and June Diane Raphael try to impress Paul and Prue with their summer treats. The special premieres on the Roku channel August 16th. Saving room for dessert in Hollywood, I'm David Daniel.
Chatham County's commissioners recognized the start of Drake Powell's NBA career last night. County commissioners passed a resolution honoring him for representing the county so well. He was selected in the first round of last month's NBA draft. Powell played at UNC last year, grew up in Chatham County.
Prison phone fraud. North Carolina inmates are running a new scam from behind bars. How they are getting their hands on the phones and what you should watch out for.
Also, power plant plans. A big day for Duke Energy as they're trying to build a new energy facility in Person County. The latest details on those efforts and reaction from people who live nearby.